Welcome to Workstyle Stories, because life changes and every life is different. This week, we're talking about family and how that can influence your decision making and on achieving that kind of elusive blend of work and life when you also have dependents around you and living in your workspace. So I'm joined by Caroline Owen to talk about that. Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Alex.
So for the benefit of everyone, would you mind just giving us a quick intro to who you are, where you're from and what you do?
Yeah, sure. I am Caroline. I am originally from Cardiff and I now live in Manchester with my husband and my two little boys, Wilf and Herbie. And I work in internal comms.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Okay, so you've got two boys. How old are your boys?
They're 3 and 5.
Okay, so over the last 5 years, it's fair to say that you've had a few challenges, I'm sure, of blending your parenting responsibilities with your internal communications responsibilities. But let's go back before that then. So life before children, BC. What was your work life like? What was a typical week like for you?
So before I had my kids, I worked for a large company who were a national company with offices all around, but their head office was down in Edinburgh and Staines. So living in Manchester, I was commuting on a Monday, staying at the Holiday Inn Monday to Thursday, and then coming back north. So I probably doing 6 days a week instead of 5 because a lot of it was on the road.
That's an enormous commute and a huge commitment. So you must have really enjoyed that line of work, that company that you were working with to do that.
I did, yeah. They were a great company and I learned a lot from them. I loved my job. And at the time, you know, with no major responsibilities, I was happy to do that commute.
Wow, I think that shows incredible commitment to your work to do that. But so let's just talk about then. So it was a good job, presumably pretty well paid by the sounds of things, and you really enjoyed doing it. And then children came along, right? So how did it change? How did your life change and how did work change around that?
Well, my priorities changed. So I was no longer wanting to be away from home. I wanted to be here with my family. But it hadn't changed the love for my chosen career. You know, I still loved internal comms and I still wanted to make a difference in the workplace. But I couldn't give my whole self to that anymore because I had to give I wanted to give myself to my family as well. So I had to change it up.
So you did what? Did you go more working from home?
Yes. So after my first little boy, yes, the company were great. They were flexible with me and I worked a lot more from home. Yeah.
Okay. And how did that play out? Because obviously it can be difficult if you're working from home and everyone else is in the office in Staines and you're up in Manchester. That must have been quite challenging, no?
Yes, it was. I mean, my boss was great, and like I say, but I still felt detached really from everyone.
I bet.
all the time, but they were there a lot more than me. So I did feel like I was a bit detached from the work and the decisions, which made me think I need to kind of do something different.
Yeah, I know this is something that Lizzie can relate to, and if she was on this conversation, she would be talking about how she had similar feelings when she had her first child of always seeming to miss out on the important decisions or the office gossip or the being in the know and being able to influence in the way that she would have been able to had she been in the office, and managing that that shift of priorities is a really difficult thing for everyone when they have kids. But it sounds like it went okay. I mean, obviously, you stayed on, you carried on working that way, and then you had son number 2. And how did that change things? Did that change things at all any further, or what happened then?
I mean, at the time, the company was going through quite a big change, and okay. The redundancy offer came up, which I guess perfect timing for me. It gave me the push I needed. I think I was scared to leave the company. I'd been there for so long, and I think I probably put myself under a lot of pressure to stay in this great job with a great company, earning decent money, because I've now got a family. So I needed to make sure I was earning enough money to look after the family. So it was a tough decision.
But you took it, and you took it with a view to doing something different.
Yes. I had a year off with my second boy, which was great. But yes, I decided I was going to work for myself and not go back into a full-time permanent role after that. I decided I wanted to do more for myself, do more for my family, but still do the comms work that I loved.
Do you think I'm going to ask you a question here now, which you may not be prepared for, but do you think you would have made that leap if the redundancy option had never presented itself? Do you think that was, defining for you? Or
I think it was. I think if that redundancy offer hadn't been there, I think I probably would have been too frightened to leave. Without the money, the kind of, if I'd have left after having the second boy and I didn't have that kind of bit of money behind me and the thought of what I can go to next, I think I would have been too frightened at that point.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And a lot of people talk about making this leap, and in Workstyle Stories, we're talking to people about this. At some point, everybody has this moment where they just think, now's the time. And it sounds to me like the redundancy almost gave you the encouragement you needed to follow through on what you felt was probably going to be better for you and for your family. But that without it, you probably would have carried on doing what you were doing, because the security that gave you almost outweighed the potential benefit that, as you understood it, on the other side. So I think a lot of people will be able to relate to that fear being driven by that need for security, and in a way that desire to want to uphold the lifestyle you've become accustomed to. And those things, those trappings, can be very difficult to break free of.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was at the company for 14 years. It's a long time to be there, and I knew it very well, and it was comfortable there. And so the decision to step away from all that was a tough one.
Yeah, I bet. So to where we are now then, so 3 years, 2 or 3 years down the line, what's different about your work and your life, and how does it all fit together for you now?
So at the moment, I'm able to choose projects and contracts that I know I'm going to love, but also fit with my lifestyle and my family. So I like to do some yoga in the morning. I like to take my kids to school and pick them up, and then I'll fit work around that. And luckily, the last 2 or 3 years, I've been able to work like that, and it's really working well for us as a family.
Fantastic. And in terms of being able to meet those basic needs, your income and your feeling of security and comfort, presumably you've been able to do that, and you've kind of established a new comfort with what you've got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's things that you realize in life that you don't need, and there's things more important than having a massive salary and a company car and all that stuff, which was lovely at the time. But I'm happy now with what we have here, and I'm still earning great money, and I'm living the lifestyle that I want to live with my family. So it's worked out great.
Good for you. Caroline, thank you very much indeed for sharing your story with us. We've been Workstyle Stories. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.